I'm going to come back to our previous discussion, redrawing future body weight curve for underweight and overweight birds. As I said, it's really important. And I showed you these figures. And we talked about bringing heavy birds onto target body weight or bringing light birds, small birds, onto target body weight over the course of few weeks that you can see here. The point is, use extreme caution when trying to reduce growth rate. Here, for green lines, especially in this curve after 63 days of age, if you look at the green curve, which is for heavy birds, you can see we are really reducing the rate of growth to bring them onto target body weight. Although the body weight gain is positive, but it's really small and steady. This is important. That's why when we say use extreme caution, it means that don't send a negative signal for reproduction. It means that if you have negative energy balance, if you are going to decrease the body weight gain, you are sending negative signal for reproduction. And these birds will not produce fertile eggs, or if they produce, their production will be really weak. Second thing, make feed increases as small and as frequent as possible. In the previous slide, I calculated the feed allocation for birds on target body weight, which was a red curve. And that's why I just used the values from manual guide, which was 135 kilocalorie energy per bird per day. But if your birds are not on the target body weight, if they are under target body weight, in that case, you need to increase this value. You need to manipulate this value. Instead of putting 135, you may go 10 kilocalorie more, 5 kilocalorie more, depending on how much you are under target body weight. Or vice versa. If your birds are heavier, you need to decrease it a little bit, you know. But again, feed allocation should go up, small and steady. And for the body weight gain, again, they should gain weight every day. But if they are overweight, you are going to decrease the rate of body weight gain, the rate of increasing the body weight gain. They are still increasing their body weight, but in a steady and slowly manner. That's the case. Now, that's why we say body weight gain is more important than body weight. Here, I'm going to show you the results of an experiment. Zuthoff and et al., they ran an experiment several years ago, which the results have been published in Poultry Science, and you can have access to that. I will provide the link here. They tested different body weight curves, and they called them low body weight, which is this bottom one, standard body weight curve, which is based on the breeder recommended target curve, moderate body weight curve, which was slightly higher than standard curve, and high body weight curve, which means that those birds were raised on high target body weight to increase their body weight, compared to the standard one, to the breeder recommended one. What was the results? And the link is here. If you want to have a look at the article, it's here, Zudhoff et al. 2007. The results are really interesting. Chick production of breeders reared on different growth trajectories. Here, the y-axis, the vertical axis, shows chick production, number of chicks produced per bird over the course of production cycle. Look here. We had 4 body weight profiles: high body weight, moderate body weight, standard body weight, and low body weight, right? We talked about them here. High body weight birds, the birds that were raised based on this high body weight curve, they produced 132 chicks per cycle. This number was 138 chicks for moderate body weight group, 134 chicks for standard body weight curve, and 135 chicks for low body weight curve. At the first glance, you would say, okay, the moderate body weight curve is better, right? Because it has produced more chicks compared to standard body weight curve. But pay attention to the profit. Our final objective is profit, right? If they have produced more chicks, it doesn't mean, it is profitable. Maybe they have eaten more feed. Of course, they have eaten more feed because their body weight curve was higher. They have eaten more feed to reach that body weight curve. So you need to take that into consideration as well in your calculations. Say, okay, what's the profit of, let's say, having 4 more chicks? I'm comparing 138 chicks to 134 chicks. Moderate body weight to standard body weight, right? What's the profit, or what's the price of 4 more chicks? And what's the cost of eating more feed to reach that higher body weight? And then you can calculate the profit to see if it makes sense or not. I don't know. Maybe it makes sense. Maybe you will get more profit for moderate body weight curve, but maybe no. They will be the same, profit will be the same with standard body weight, or maybe the profit will be less. I don't know. We need to calculate that. I just said that to not judge a book by its cover. just by seeing a result, don't say, oh, it is good, so I'm going to follow, for example, this instruction. No, you need to do math. You need to calculate. See what is the revenue, what is the cost, what is your profit. So, but my point is something else here. From a statistical standpoint, when we ran statistical analyses, they didn't find any significant differences between these groups. It means that from a statistical standpoint, all of the birds, either from high body weight or low body weight or standard or moderate, they produced similar numbers of chicks. So these values are the average for that group. It means that there is variation inside each group as well. So from a statistical standpoint, their production was the same. It's really important. It's really interesting. Really interesting. And you know why? Because if you pay attention to the body weight curves, all of them were managed perfectly. It means that if you pay attention to low body weight curve or moderate or standard or high, if you pay attention to body weight gain in all of them is increasing. But let's say for high body weight curve, it's increasing slowly, but steady. This is really important. So the point is this: maintain a consistent growth or body weight gain. A small and steady positive energy balance. If you do this, you will have a successful management on your broiler breeder farm. I said this to encourage those people who are dealing with small birds or heavy birds. They are freaked out. They say, oh, I messed up, my birds are heavy or small, whatever. No, don't be freaked out. Just pay attention to your management. Wherever your bird's body weight fall into here, just pay attention to the rest of the curve. Have consistent growth. Small and steady positive energy balance. This is the secret. So, this sentence is from one of the pioneers in broiler breeder management, Dr. Frank Robinson from the University of Alberta. He is father of broiler breeder science. He said, don't let your bird's metabolism know you have made a change to the feed allocation. Because you are going to make a change to feed allocation, right? Every week you are increasing feed allocation, but you shouldn't let your bird's metabolism know that. How? A small and steady positive energy balance. A small and steady feed allocation, increase in feed allocation. A small and steady positive body weight gain. If you follow these instructions, you're going to be successful in broiler breeder management. Now, the tips that I'm going to provide in this slide, we have a proverb. We say, please write down these tips using cold water. Gold is expensive. It is valuable, right? These tips are the gold tips for principles of broiler breeder management. First, if you want to have a successful management on your broiler breeder farm, know your genotype very well. If you are using Ross, if you are using Cobb, if you are using any breed, just know their requirements. Just know their status and see if, increase your knowledge about the breed, about the genotype that you are using. It's really important. It means that their management should be slightly different. Second point, know your flock very well. There is no unique prescription for different flocks based on the variation in individuals, based on the variation between flocks. Your management should be slightly different. That's why you need to know your flock very well. In one of my previous videos, it was about farm stories. It was about complete guide to broiler production. I told you the best management tool is a 5-gallon bucket. Turn it around, sit on it, and watch your birds. Use your sense. Look, smell, hear, listen to their vocalization. You need to know your flock very well. Third point, really important. Avoid sudden large increases in feed intake. If you see your birds are underweight, don't worry. Do not increase their feed intake suddenly. Otherwise, you are ruining your success. Just redraw the body weight curve and bring them on target body weight slightly. Steady and small body weight gain. Next point. As I mentioned, make feed increases as small and as frequent as possible. It means that don't let your bird's metabolism know you have made a change to the feed allocation. By following steady and small changes in feed allocation, in body weight gain, I mention this a lot because it's really important. And don't forget, you are managing something you can't see. What is that? What's our goal? What we are managing? Ovary, right? Bird's ovary. You can have a nice ovary like this. Why am I saying nice? Because the follicles you can see in different sizes, from small all the way to the largest follicle or egg yolk. So this bird is gonna lay perfectly because you have arranged, follicles. But you can't see that. It's inside the hen's body. But by taking these points into consideration, you are managing something that you can't see. On the other hand, you can, have a bad management on nutrition and management, and you would end up with an ovary like this, you can see it's full of large follicles. And we would call it follicle hierarchy, or it means that they are not in order in terms of size. So we would call it EODES, or erratic oviposition defective egg syndrome, which is a syndrome in broiler breeders. It means that if you don't manage your birds very well, they're going to end up with this ovary, so they won't have a regular ovulation, oviposition, or laying. Their laying sequences will not be regular. Their peak production will be low, really low. Their production persistency will be low. It means that they will drop production suddenly after peak production, and you will lose profit. You will lose money. That's why it's really important to pay attention to these managerial tips that we have covered in this video. I hope it's useful. If so, please feel free to subscribe to my channel and ask your questions down there in the comments area, and I'll continue this discussion in the next episodes. Have a great day wherever you are, and see you in the next episode. Take care.